Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Sunday night live with Judah, Angie, and my partner Chuck is here. And we're really glad that you're here. We are going to be channeling this evening. And the topic is your 5 sources of assistance. And the 5 sources of assistance available to you and I for anything that we need in the living of our life is our higher self, or our 5th dimensional soul, source energy, sometimes called universal consciousness, called God, called by many, many, many different names. The third one is the great cloud of witnesses. I use that term. It refers to all the souls, beautiful souls that have passed on before us. So many vast numbers of enlightened souls, Jesus, the Buddha. Some of your loved ones are probably right now in that great cloud of witness cheering you on. So many. The 4th source of help are the angels and archangels. Sometimes here when we channel, we have visits from Archangel Michael or Gabriel, Raphael, other angels. Sometimes they come and present themselves as a council of 12. If you hear that phrase, when they come, they're referring to the 12 big kahuna archangels. And of course, Judah. If you haven't met Judah before, I channel Judah is a group of angelic beings, around 300,000 individual angelic souls that operate together as a collective. And then our 5th source of help we're going to talk about tonight is other cosmic guides or spirit guides. And those can include, they're very much like the angels, perhaps indistinguishable in many cases, but spirit guides from all kinds of interstellar races, such as the Pleiadians, the Sasanis, the Arcturians, Zeta Reticuli. There's so many vast numbers beyond what we even have knowledge of. We just have had the privilege to make friends with a few. So just to recap before we start channeling, 5 sources of assistance for our everyday life and the expansion of our soul is our higher self, which is our true eternal part. The second is source energy, universal consciousness, or God. The third is a great cloud of witnesses. The 4th are the angels and archangels. And the 5th are other interstellar cosmic and spirit guides. So we're just going to go into channeling now and invite any of those beautiful beings that want to come and share tonight with us. And we don't know what's going to happen. We're just open. And when we're done with whatever Judah and the others present, we have a few questions that people have submitted that we're going to try to tackle. And if you've sent in a question, we'll do our best to get to it, but we definitely won't get to all of them tonight. And but we are keeping track of them and hoping to get to each one. So here we go. Got it? You okay? You all right? Okay. You're having technical issues here. You might have to put your foot on that left side of that. Oops. Yeah, got it. Okay. There you go. Chuck's holding up the mic for me here. Hello, precious ones. Judah here. Welcome to this space for you, a space and time. We are visiting you from our higher dimensions in this space and time, and it is our pleasure. We look forward to these meetings. And we do have some things to share with you from on high, from higher dimensions, in order to encourage you to lift you up in the space where you are, to unburden your life, and give a lift to your soul, your precious and expansive eternal Buddha like parts. We want to expand that part of you tonight through this time together. So as you listen and partake, you may experience a literal and physical, tangible presence with you. You may experience an energetic surge in one or more parts of your body. You may have the sense that there is a presence or presences in the room with you. And yes, angels are there with you, present with you, bringing many presents, my dear. And so, whatever you are able to do in this moment to open up and receive, you will find a blessing in the doing of that. So, allow yourself to drop down into a meditative and relaxed state and receive the energetic transmission, the power we are bringing to you in your location through this transmission. And let us begin. As the vessel introduced, we are going to talk to you about 5 sources of help for your life. Because some of you are under the mistaken impression that you do not have help, that you are alone. And others of you are beginning to be aware of the presence of angels and other higher dimensional beings. And your eyes are being opened to the potential of their assistance for you. But there is even more to be revealed. So let's begin at the top of the list. The first source of help for you, my dears, is your higher self, your soul, the 5th dimensional, higher dimensional part of who you are, the part of you that is larger than the you that is a physical body with a name and a mother and a father and a home and an occupation and so on. Your higher self is vast and eternal and has taken on, yes, chosen to restrict and constrain itself into the you that you are in the place where you sit at this moment, in order to learn some things, in order to grow, in order to impact humanity, in order to move itself, your soul, along the pathway to enlightenment. And so your higher self is vast. It is perfect. It is unharmed. It is all-knowing. And without limitations of time and space, like the angels, you see. And so, your higher self is an extraordinary resource for the living of your life. Some call this higher self intuition. And some of you are afraid, you have fearful parts in your egoic mind that talk you out of trusting and listening to your higher self and leaning on your higher self. And that is unfortunate, because your higher self is completely reliable. And so stick with this one, and you will learn how to distinguish between your mind and your higher self. But for starters, we will say that your higher self is accompanied by a feeling of peace and assurance and knowing, a centeredness. The mind, the voice of the mind, is continuously chattering and noisy and full of anxiety. It is rooted in fear. So you may begin to distinguish between the two by understanding your ego parts. Your fearful parts will be motivated by fear and doubt, and they will be tinged with that sense, whereas your higher self will be guided by love and trust and a peaceful and restful sense of knowing. Your higher self is a continual resource for you that can be trusted and relied upon. And so anything that you hear from any other sources, including the next four sources we will discuss tonight, should be in alignment with your higher self. Your higher self, upon hearing the wisdom or assistance from, let's say, an angel or a spirit guide or a guru or a teacher or any other source, your higher self should say, yes, that aligns with my heart and what I know to be true. And if it does not align with your higher self, simply let it go by the wayside. No need to judge. It simply is not of any benefit for you. Now, the second source we will speak of tonight is universal consciousness. It is the collective of all souls in all space and time, of all races, in and out of the body, on and off world, in many myriad dimensions and locations, and all are interconnected. And within source, in the universal consciousness, one may know all things. And so your higher self is a part of that web of universal consciousness. So as you activate and listen to your higher self, you are becoming connected to and activated with all of universal consciousness. Source, the creator, God. There are myriads of names that you may use, but all of them are inadequate for describing the profundity of this consciousness from which all things are created, sustained, and even destroyed. And source and universal consciousness are always available to you for the asking. Ask and you shall receive. And we would say that there are many things to say about source energy, but one that we will say for now is this: the less you try to define source, the more you will be able to access the treasure of source energy. And so let go of your mental constructs and conceptions, religious trainings and ideologies, anything you think you know and understand about this force called God. And then you may find yourself availed to ever so much more power from this source. For this source is like the sun, the great central sun, which emanates continually at all times life-giving energy. Now, the third source of help and assistance for the living of your life is what we will call the great cloud of witnesses, in reference to a biblical reference from Hebrews 13. And this title serves to name the beautiful collective of human souls who once lived and walked on the earth and have now left their earthly bodies, and exist in many different dimensions, higher dimensions, from the fourth to 12th dimension. And these beautiful souls continue to exist without their physical bodies, and they continue upon their journey of enlightenment. And not all of them, but some of them, have more enlightenment, more wisdom, and higher understanding to offer you, because of where they are in their soul's evolution. Some of these souls might be perhaps your father or your grandmother, or your great grandfather, or perhaps others unknown and known, such as this vessel recently channeled Helen Keller and Joan of Arc, Edgar Casey, and so on. And you see, each one of these souls of the great cloud of witnesses are cheering you on and constantly offering their, we will say, prayers, for lack of a better word, their intentions, their light and love emanations towards you. And they are a source for you of wisdom and understanding, should you care to ask. Now, the fourth, angels, angels and archangels, of which we are some. We are just one collective of myriads of angels, and we hail to Michael, the archangel. And we are constantly at your beck and call. We are not offended when you ask for our help. We don't feel looked down upon. We consider ourselves servants, but not in the context that you do in your earthly mindset. To serve you in love, and to serve Source, the Creator, is our joy and our bliss. And we do not sleep or slumber. We don't take holiday vacation. We don't need a pay raise. We are available to serve you in whatever context is within your best interest. Now, this vessel has recently received several letters from some of you, perhaps even watching, who are frustrated because you have asked both Judah, ourselves, and other angels for assistance, and you feel you have not received an answer. But we assure you, my dear, this is an illusion on your part. If you have asked, then we have answered. And perhaps the answer is on its way, or perhaps you received an answer and you did not like it. But we are asking you, in response, to, wherever you can, unhook yourself from fear and doubt, and continue to love and to trust, and continue to ask for our help, for our assistance is being given. We are not limited to time or space, to ideologies or rules. and we manifest instantly. We think the thought, and it is. So be bold, be brave, and keep asking, and keep coming around. And don't stop. And be careful of your words. Be careful when you say, I always ask and I don't get an answer. Be careful not to block yourself and your answers with your fear, doubt, and unbelief. Now, the last source of help we will speak of tonight is really no different than the one of angels, but in your mind and your culture, it seems some different to you. And so, for that reason, we will put it in a different category. And we will say the fifth source of help are other cosmic guides, spirit guides from other interstellar races throughout the cosmos. We would likely call them angels, but you might think of them as extra dimensional beings or ETs. And there are some that are of these races that are coming more and more to the forefront in your culture because of their activity with some human beings. Some, such as the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Zeta Reticuli, and others, many, many others, Mantoids, and so on, Essasanis. But there are myriads of others yet who have yet to introduce themselves formally and overtly to humanity. But all of these beings, not all, but many, are intent on helping humanity. And so you may ask for assistance from any spirit guides that are enlightened in their consciousness of a high vibration and evolution for your help. And we encourage you not to be afraid of being misled. Simply use basic, uncomplicated discernment, which is if it feels loving and trustworthy, if it produces good fruit, if it causes you to feel better and lightens your load, you can trust in that being. You use basic discernment the same way you would if someone knocked on your door. If they knocked on your door and they were a stranger, you wouldn't turn them away out of hand, but you would use your higher self, your discernment, to determine if the one was safe for opening the door to or not. And this whole nonsense about stranger danger we teach to children is unfortunate. For children, as well as yourself, have basic intuition and discernment about the character of others. When this vessel was a young child in the grocery store with her mother, just 2 or 3 years old, many times she would reach out her arms to a total stranger. And we would say that her intuition was accurate about the ones to which she reached out her arms for an embrace. So embrace cosmic help from any and all sources that come to you if your intuition tells you they have something of value to offer you. And if not, simply shut the door and don't open it. Okay, we have said enough about these 5 sources. Now we will pause for a moment and take some questions. You have anything you want to share about any of that?
No.
Sweetie? Okay, Chuck's here with me, my sweetheart. He's going to read some questions.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
My mother was recently very abusive towards me. It took me by surprise, but then opened up a floodgate of memories I had suppressed from childhood. I want to be able to love her, but I think that is going to have to look different from what I imagine. Is love letting someone go? I struggle to see myself as a loving person when I can't be around someone I should be okay with.
Well, dear, there are no shoulds. And it is certainly okay to not be around any other. You see, culturally, you believe that mothers and fathers deserve special deference. Well, maybe so and maybe not. Some mothers and fathers need some awakening to their behavior and how they harm their children. And unfortunately, above all others on the earth, it is your mother and father who have the greatest capacity to influence your life with love or else or else. And so there are no shoulds, my dear, no shoulds at all. Now, first you can give thanks that the present circumstance with your mother opened up an opportunity to feel some old historical feelings. Now, we would like to just go in right there to that place in your heart and clear out the old pain and old emotion attached to the memories which surfaced for you. Be free, be released. So for that, you can give thanks. Now count all of that as cleared. Now, as to your ongoing relationship with your mother, well, this gentleman has some things to say there.
Remember, your mother and her behavior are two different things. Your mother, who she is love. She may be off the path, but that's who she is, and that's what you love in your mother. The behavior is a program that she got from teachers, from parents. We know that a man who abuses his wife was brought up in a family where the father abused the wife. That's what he learned. So she probably was brought up in a family where she was abused. So this is what she was taught, how you treat kids. Now, yes, when you get a certain age, you need to wake up and say, this does not feel right. I need to change. I need to do something differently. Yes. And you don't need to spend time around somebody who doesn't love and respect you.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, if you process the emotions that go along with the way you feel about this, anger, sadness, whatever emotion, when it comes up, you sit with it and you feel it, then you will gradually get to the point to where you can get to compassion. And that's where you want to get to, compassion. Remember, there's a saying that if you'd have gone through what she'd gone through, you might be the same way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, yes. We say yes, and we agree. And we would say that what is needed in relationships is both love and truth. And love without truth is mushy and lacks consistency and support. And truth without love is harsh and harms. So be as gentle and compassionate with yourself and your mother as you can. And whenever possible, don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. And it is okay to take this relationship and all relationships one day at a time. Speak your truth, and as much as is possible, speak it with love. Yeah.
Robert would like to know, when will things begin to get better with the economy, with the worst events that are happening today, etc.?
Okay, Robert is asking, when are things going to get better in the world and the economy and so on? Well, you must understand there are myriads of possibilities, and we can tell you what the likely trajectory is, but it is you, your higher self, and you all, universal consciousness, every soul together on the planet and beyond, which are creating what is going on the earth right now. So it is a co-creation of billions of souls upon the earth. And this is why things are going badly. The reason things are going badly is because the global consciousness is where it is, and the events of the earth are reflecting the global consciousness. Now, we would also say that you all have a tendency to think, oh, we have it so bad. But remember, there were those who lived in the darkest of times, such as World War II, who were gassed with their loved ones, executed in mass numbers, and other many atrocities on the earth, and difficult times such as the Great Depression, in which men commonly committed suicide because they were willing and able to work but could not find work, and so on. And so remember, you have a tendency to think, oh, woe is us, it's all so bad, when will it get better? And so, what will you do about these things? These are truths and realities. It is dark times. I would like to tell you that everything will get better, but I cannot do that, because that, unfortunately, is up to you all and your co creation. Or should I say, fortunately, it is up to you all and your co creation. And you see, this vessel, she will continue to be accused from various ones of being Pollyanna and falsely positive and so on. And this is why, because she has made a decision to turn her face towards what is good, what is right, what is life-giving, what is just and full of love and truth. And this is why, not because she is trying to be foolish or irresponsible, but for this reason. The law of attention is very plain. What you give attention to will grow. What you withdraw attention from will die. If you have a plant and you hide it in a closet and you give it no water or sunlight, it most certainly will die. But if you put it in the sunshine and you water it and nurture it, it nearly certainly will grow. And so, what you must do, dear Robert, and all of you listening to whom relate, Be careful if you imbibe continually on bad news and true headlines, perhaps. The more you give that your focus and attention to those things, the more you are joining in the global consciousness that feeds and grows those things. And so you unintentionally, perhaps unconsciously, you are feeding and growing what you don't want for this beautiful planet, either for yourself or for others. So this is a large part of the work that we are doing with this vessel. Listen, we are calling you. Are you listening? We want to develop an army of positively focused on life and light, love, and what is true and good and just, in order to begin growing a counter force, a power that is larger than the darkness. And so we invite you and we say again, when will things get better? Things will get better when you individually and you all collectively decide that they are going to be better. And every thought matters. Every thought matters. Every thought you think is either growing what you want or growing what you don't want. And every thought you think is either increasing the global consciousness towards enlightenment and the ascension of humanity, or it is feeding fear and doubt and darkness. So we thank you for your question, dear one, and we ask you to please lend your thoughts, your words and actions towards a better future. You have time for maybe one more?
Ula Maria would like to know what to listen to first, the heart or the higher self, and what is the difference?
Okay, great question from Ula Maria in Sweden, and I think Chuck really has a great answer for that. Speak nice and loudly, sweetie.
The simple answer to that is, if you listen to your heart, you do not need to listen to anybody else, and your higher self will be out of a job. Everybody else's job is to teach you how to do that. Your heart is love. God is love. That's your connection with God. God will not mislead you. When you're listening to your heart, you're listening to God. And when you do that, you find everything will work out. Your relationships, your finances, everything will work out. You will never be misled. Now, yes, unfortunately, what we've been programmed in this society is, in energy medicine, we say the heart is the supreme controller, is the king. It's supposed to be in charge. What was the first organ that functioned in your body? The heart. At 6 days, you had a heartbeat. 6 days, you had a heartbeat. No other organ. So what's supposed to happen with us is our heart says, like what happened to me, my heart said when I said it was time to find an occupation, I got the messages to go to Chinese medical school, be an acupuncturist. So that came up from my heart. But my mind said, you're 38 years old. How are you going to compete with 20-year-olds? And by the way, where are you going to get the $80,000? But I've learned a long time ago that my mind is not my friend. And so I immediately turn those around and say, you're kidding? I will be the highest in my class and the money will come to me. So what's supposed to happen is your heart says, my heart says to my mind, I want to go to acupuncture school. What's supposed to happen is my mind says, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to move to the town where the school is. You got to get one more classes here, and then you're going to go get a little part-time job because you need a little extra money, blah, blah, blah. And then it says to your heart, we got this. Don't worry, we got this covered. That's the way it's supposed to work.
Thank you, sweetie. All right. Well, on that note, it feels like to me the best way to end our evening together is to just bring some energy up into our heart chakra space. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to go back into channeling for a moment. I'm going to ask if some of the higher dimensional beings can bring us an impartation or a gift for being able to act from the heart, to think and speak and act from the heart. Maybe put your hands over your heart. Let's just see where we can go with this. Yeah, take a few deep breaths there. Hello, dear ones, Pleiadians here. And yes, we would be happy to oblige. May we please give you an impartation for speaking, acting, living from your heart. Lord, this gentleman is correct. The heart is king, and the mind must be relegated to servant. So here we go. We are going to give you a light language transmission for living from the heart. Each sound that you hear, which may seem to be like a word to your mind, each sound is a whole volume of light energy programming for your cells and your body. And the entire message together, all together, will be like as if you received a PhD in living from the heart and are now able to appropriate it in your life. So here we go. Chimalaya no wiatse. Guamalaheo niatia ochainai ote. Walamahaina otsawaitenai. Gualamayalaheo lo atse. Chila meheo yatiane otaya hayokotsa. Chila maya no vaviete no. Wala maya na liotsuya wachi oto watse kota. Chila wayaleo tsama wichitu tai tsukeni otai nai chinmalai o atsa ti otoya ke otai chiamayele o. Well, we're wrapping it up for this evening, and we're so thankful that you're here, that you've been here with us. We love all your comments and your interchanges during the week through YouTube and email, and we feel your love and appreciate you. We know that you're just being here means that you're a big light in this world, and we appreciate that. We give you our reverence and honor. I did drop in there's some links in the bottom there for you. We have a great free webinar that's packed full of about 100 minutes of really solid teaching and some surprise channels from Helen Keller, Joan of Arc, and Teresa of Avila. It's free. We hope you'll sign on and enjoy that. Also, we can always take your questions on the website, thejudahchannel.com, under Ask Judah. And we do get together once a month on Sunday nights in Charlotte, North Carolina, if you want to come and join us. And the last link that I gave you that's right at the top is from a brand new song that I just released called Sweet Surrender. And I hope you'll add that to your playlist. We love you all. Happy holidays. That's it.